Hello and welcome to the precipice of the regular season. As always, I am your host, Dalton Van Pelt Scotch on the sidelines. We have Zachary Dalai Lama Stewart.
Yeah, another week, one week.
Wednesday night.
Yep, Wednesday night. I think this is the third different night we've recorded a podcast on: Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. No, we've done Sunday too. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, just going with the flow, everybody. But yeah, we'll give a quick recap. I know it's the week starts tomorrow, so if you're listening to this tomorrow, matchups are going last week of the regular season, and then we're off to the playoffs, man. 3 weeks to go after this week, and the culmination of these last 3 weeks and crown a champion and crown a toilet seater, man. It's time.
Right as we said, the playoffs were set. Technically, they're not.
Yeah, that sub 1% chance. We talked about it. Sub 1% for one of those teams that were 3-8 at or 3-8 at the time.
7.
Or yeah,
3-7. If they were 3-8, it'd be
3-7 at the time.
Yeah.
Whereas the outside 1% chance, only one of them could get in. I don't think Lean and there's the top 7 are locked.
Only one can get in. Yep.
Only
it's
one
just
can get
Cole's 8 spot.
Cole's 8 spot. Cole has to lose, and they have to win. And then I don't know how it depends on if Cole
Lean
beat them.
just beat Cole this week. So,
but I don't know.
Cole
If,
has to win, and Lean has to lose for him.
But Cole might have beat him early in the season. It's in that I
don't know.
We'll
have to
3
look
week.
at it.
Yeah, it's one of those weird tiebreakers, and Garrett's sneaking up too. I mean, if they all end up being tied, it's going to be that combined head-to-head record. So,
which would be weird to have someone go through on a combined head-to-head.
Yeah, but
anyway,
that's the way it goes. But yeah, it's the top 7 are locked. Seeding can obviously change. Sackett has wrapped up the 1 seed, I believe, with Luke losing last week. A little forecast, but Sackett has a 2-game lead with 1 to go in that division. The other division is up for grabs this week, the 2 seed.
Bills take on the Patriots, and the Bills keep winning.
Yeah, nothing new there. The show out party for James Cook kind of took over that backfield. Definitely split it more 50-50. Devin Singletary's lowest snap share in quite a few weeks. So James Cook has a nice big day. Bills do Bills things. Stephon Diggs has a nice game. Gabe Davis catches a touchdown. The Patriots are a disaster. Yeah, it's really weird to see the Patriots in such disarray, but that's how it goes when you're trying to find your next quarterback and move on from, the greatest of all time. Obviously it's been a few years, but it's going to take some time, and the Patriots are going to be out of the playoffs probably for a little while.
Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, not long. I mean, with 17
sure,
now making the playoffs, but
Ramondre Stevenson does an all right job with no Damian Harris, but nothing crazy. Stephon Diggs with the touchdown to help out his day as well.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh 19, Atlanta 16. I kind of saw this as a scripted Pittsburgh win on the road.
Yeah, Pittsburgh's playing themselves out of that high draft pick that everybody wants. So
they don't care.
No, Pittsburgh's just going to do what they want to do. They're not going to move on from Pickett. They're going to be sitting right there in that 12 to 15 range again, and they're just going to get a solid player, but not the quarterback that they desperately need. Obviously, Pickett's not killing them, but his skill set is pretty small. And granted, he's a rookie, but I think they need to move on from the offensive coordinator. Obviously, with been the last few years. It's almost the same thing. They're not throwing the ball deep. It's a lot of underneath stuff. They had like, I saw they had a 13 play drive that went 45 yards. Like, you're averaging 2 yards in a cloud of dust, and you got Deontay Johnson has over 100 targets and has no touchdowns. Absolutely, like, crazy. Um, Pickens is a baller, but they can't throw it deep. Najee Harris is 2 yards and a cloud of dust because that offensive line can't block anybody. I think they're gonna have to start with a new OC and then kind of see how it goes from there, because they're not going to be in position for one of those top quarterbacks next year in the draft. So hopefully Tomlin gets it right and keeps moving.
Deontay Johnson with a little bit of a hip bang up in this one. Pat Fryermuth on 3 catches probably ended up as a top 12 tight end.
Oh, yeah.
And Drake London had a boatload of receptions. Cordero Patterson is officially dead.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Green Bay beat Chicago. A lot of people liked Chicago in this one. Obviously, Fields was back. David Montgomery gets in the end zone. Another Cole Kmet sighting after a slow start to the year. And Christian Watson gets in the end zone again.
Twice. Did it twice. 8 touchdowns in 4 games. Absolutely
That's
crazy.
Deebo Samuel numbers.
It is crazy. And they're like, he's finding a way to do it. And he's getting high target shares. But they're targeting him in the red zone. They're giving him the looks to score. So fun to watch. Did not think that was sustainable, but man, he is going crazy. Now they go into the bye week, and yeah, looking forward to seeing if he can continue the run, man. It's been a wild 4 weeks for Christian Watson after, no production the first couple weeks. He had a plenty of big play upside at the very beginning of the year. First snap of the season, they went play action, dropped a 75-yard touchdown. So like, they know he's talented. Granted, they took him in the second round, so obviously they're banking on that. So it's nice to see that. And this is the time of the year that, the rookies are starting to shine. We see it all over the league. It's been 12 weeks. It takes a little bit of time to adjust to the speed of the NFL and the physicality of the NFL, and just get used to the game plan and getting the routine of working with people. I mean, we talked about it. Even some of the veterans are having a hard time in September because no one plays in preseason. And granted, they're playing the rookies in preseason because they haven't seen them. So, but yeah, fun to watch. Bears, on the other hand, Justin Fields comes back. Good game. Bears kind of had this in hand until the fourth quarter, and then Aaron Rodgers said, "No, I'm getting the ball to Christian Watson, and we're gonna own you once again." That was my lock of the week, by the way.
Oh, yes, it was.
Mm-hmm.
You did gain a point finally.
Nope, you still got it. You still got it.
No, I mean, you finally did get your lock of the week, is what I meant. Sorry.
As did you.
As did I. The 1 week I actually bet on it.
Mm-hmm.
The 1 week I actually bet for us not to hit it. We did.
Yeah.
The Bengals take out the Chiefs. The Chiefs could not get it done in the end. Nice performance from Joe Burrow and them. Who dat?
Yeah, Jamar Chase, first game back.
Or no, it's Houday. Sorry.
Houday. Jamar Chase back from injury from the partially torn labrum in the hip, along with the hairline fracture. He's back. Decent. I think maybe this was his second game back.
First
game. Okay. So did well. T. Higgins kind of goes back to still solid volume. Tyler Boyd drops the easiest touchdown you've ever seen in your life, easier than the Mike Evans ones. Mike Evans one from a few 6 weeks ago. And Samaje Perine, another big day in the absence of Joe Mixon. It looks like Joe Mixon will be a full go this week. We haven't seen Joe Mixon since the 5 touchdown performance, because the week after that, they were on a bye, and then he gets banged up and a concussion the week out of the bye. So he logged a full practice today. Expect him to be back. P. Ryan will mix in, as he always does, 10 to 15%, but expect Mixon to get back to that full workload. On the other hand, the Chiefs just kind of a lousy performance. It happens. Now the Bills are back in the driver's seat for the number 1 seed. So that's an interesting storyline to watch down the stretch, since the Bills did beat them head to head already. So dud game from Travis Kelce. Isaiah Pacheco gets work in on the ground.
Mahomes, really the only one who did anything for the Chiefs.
Yeah. Yeah. So the big story at the very end of the game, Harrison Butker missed a 55-yard field goal to tie the game. And then the Bengals never let them get the ball back. Almost a 4-minute drive to ice the game. So Mahomes never got the ball back. That's kind of the story of the game. Can you put together that 4 or 5 minute drive to end the game and not let one of the best to ever get it? I mean, he is one of the best right now. So, and we've seen him do it before. Like, you only need sub 15 seconds just to get in field goal range. We've seen it with him. We've seen it with Josh Allen. We've seen it with Lamar Jackson, especially if you got, a big leg kicker at the other end of it, where you only need to get, 40 yards in 15 seconds. That's, two or three plays. So good for the Bengals. They're back on top. I believe that is Patrick Mahomes' first November-December loss in about 15 or 16 games. So dating back for a few years.
Cowboys defense torture the Colts. The
That's
Colts
a nice
could
way to
not
put
get
it.
anything done on offense. Matt Ryan looked
Horrible.
lost in the pocket. The Colts basically gave up on this game, even though they were in it for most of it.
What pocket? There was no pocket. It collapsed immediately. Micah Parsons just wreaking havoc. It was really weird. Like, normally you see if a team gets blown out that bad, like, you kind of pull your starters a little bit and you start kind of just like, evaluate, some of your other players. And the Cowboys did, obviously, like the last 2 drives, they put in, Cooper Rush, all-star Cooper Rush. And they try the Colts, like the last 2 drives, they're down 40 points with like 4 minutes to go. They trot out Matt Ryan and Jonathan Taylor, Michael Pittman, and then the last drive they still trotted out everybody but Jonathan Taylor, and then they gave Zach Moss like 5 touches to end the game just to get it over with. And I'm like, put Nick Foles in the game and just let him hand the ball off. I don't know. Jeff Saturday in a little over his head during that part of the game. Obviously, he's got other things to worry about, but the Cowboys just dismantled the Cowboys just dismantled the Colts. It was kind of embarrassing to watch, honestly. 26 points in the fourth quarter. Crazy.
33 points in the fourth quarter.
Oh, 33. Oh, they scored that last one.
Amon-Ra St. Brown and his best friend Jared Goff tear apart the Jacksonville Jaguars. Trevor Lawrence gets banged up in this one. Christian Kirk with a decent day. Evan Ingram gets the receiving touchdown. Travis Etienne was bottled up. Game script.
Yeah, quick, as we go through games, I'll touch on the bets as we go through them. You did have Cincinnati +2. I had Detroit +1.5. So on this game,
2-2 so far.
2-2 so far. Yeah, fun, very fun game to watch. The Lions are always fun to watch. Here's a trivia question for you: how many 1-yard touchdown runs does Jamal Williams have this season?
7.
1-yard touchdown runs. Since 7, he's got 10.
Wow,
and he's got 2-yard touchdowns. Yeah, he's got 14 touchdowns. I think I saw a stat he had 14 touchdowns like the last 4 years combined. Just like how unlucky. And like Amon-Ra St. Brown, could have like 12 touchdowns right now. Like he's been tackled at the 1 yard line like five of those times. Like just completely unlucky. DeAndre Swift does take the Lions, pun intended, Lions share of the backfield this week. Over 50% of the snaps go to him. They're still mixing in Justin Jackson. Jamal still gets his 1 yard touchdown this week, but does not cash in on the other part of the game. Swift took over more than he has in the past. It looks like his usage from like the first couple of weeks before he actually got hurt. So we'll see what that does down the stretch. So it's crazy. Lean is playing both of them, and it's just working out. He's getting 30 points between the both of them, and just saying, okay, that's fine. DJ Chark, nice game. Amon-Ra St. Brown's a stud. So on the Lions are just fun to watch. Every game the Lions are a part of, it's just so fun to watch. I already put a bet in that game this week. So
Kyle Allen outdoes Deshaun Watson by 0.1 quarterback rating, yet the Browns defense and special teams still get them the W.
The Browns did not score. They got one field goal. That was their only offensive score. It was pretty embarrassing, honestly. Deshaun Watson looked rusty. He hasn't played in 2 years. Like that's how it's going to go. But I was surprised they didn't lean on Nick Chubb a little bit more. If they knew he was going to be rusty, Deshaun Watson was thrown at everyone's feet rather than their hands. So it's one game. I mean, it is what it is. But in other news, the Texans are going back to Davis Mills next week. Kyle Allen is not the answer and will never be the answer. He'll be a backup hit and miss on whenever Ron Rivera gets a new job.
All right. The Jets fail in their comeback attempt against the Vikings. However, they did put up a valiant effort.
Yeah, that was a good game too.
Justin Jefferson finds the end zone to save his day, and Garrett Wilson is a clear, I'd say, wide receiver 2 the rest of the way. Maybe high end flex play.
He could be a wide receiver 1 the way that he's getting targets. He's getting like 12 targets a game right now, and it's with Mike White hot under center. So fire him up, baby. Fire Garrett Wilson up. Again, another rookie firing his stride right down the stretch. Super fun to watch. The Jets, I don't know how they can go back to Zach Wilson. I don't think they will. Mike White
had an interview where he said the plan is to get him back on the field. Maybe that means just gadget stuff. Who knows?
He's been inactive the last few weeks. I was reading there's like a power struggle between the GM and Saleh. Saleh wants to play Mike White hot. The GM wants them to play Zach Wilson, obviously, because he was a part of the draft that he was with. But Zach Wilson ain't the answer. Just they're winning games with Mike White, so you might as well. I know they're winning games with Zach Wilson, but Zach Wilson is dog shit. I mean, we've seen it for a couple. It's been 2 years. Like when you see the writing on the wall, like it's nothing new. Like we saw it with Sam Darnold. We saw a little bit different with Baker Mayfield. He had, his first 2 years and then kind of hit that wall, and it's never been quite the same. But you get these bad quarterbacks and they get multiple chances, but you're getting the same results. Like we see it now with Baker Mayfield getting cut. So yeah, he's not the answer. We won't be the answer. He'll get another shot somewhere because that's how it goes when you're the number 2 pick in the NFL draft.
Ugly NFC East game, Giants and Commanders tie. I nail my lock of the week with that one, I believe.
Yes, you had Giants plus 2.5. So, yep. So you get that bet. First time we both hit our lock of the week together.
I think that we've only hit like 5 lock of the weeks all year long.
Yeah,
Maybe.
it's been tough sledding.
Not really much to talk about in this game. Brian
Yeah,
Robinson had an all right day, and Terry McLaurin is still Terry McLaurin.
yeah. Jahan Dotson sighting again. Um, so expect them to get back. The Washington is one of the hottest teams in the NFL right now. Um, we'll see how that shakes out with the tie now. I don't think all those NFC East teams are going to get in now because they still all have to play each other down the stretch. So um, obviously the Cowboys and the Eagles are getting in. Could one of the other two teams sneak in? Yes, they could.
Nick Sirianni puts on a master class against the Titans, which leads the Titans to dismiss their general manager after 6 years.
Mm-hmm.
The general manager that traded AJ Brown to the Eagles, he and Devontae Smith torch the Titans.
Yeah, they
We did
torched
have a
them.
Malik Willis and Gardner Minshew the second sighting in this game.
Man, I love Gardner Minshew.
He's still around.
He's still around. He's gonna be around for a while. He's like that. He's like that Taylor Heineke type that can go in very raw. People love him, and is a serviceable quarterback. But you win the bet on that one. You had a Philly -5. I thought Philly would win. I thought the game would be a little bit closer, but good win there. Yeah, Philly just destroyed the secondary. AJ Brown gets loose. Devontae Smith gets loose. Yeah, just solid day for all those guys. Miles Sanders gets in the end zone. Just kind of overworked Tennessee, and Traylon Burks is coming on too. Again, another rookie. He does go out with a concussion. He got popped. Did catch the touchdown. But yeah, we've talked about it. All these rookies down the stretch are gonna find their stride even more.
Devontae Adams and Josh Jacobs take care of Justin Herbert and the Chargers.
That's a pretty good comparison. Yeah, it's been kind of disappointing to see what the Chargers have done. It's same different year, same story. Chargers players getting hurt. Mike Williams can't stay hurt. Keenan Allen pulls a hamstring. Eckler's the only bright spot right now. Herbert, I mean, they don't have, I mean, when Herbert's throwing to, I mean, no offense, I mean, these guys are professional athletes, but DeAndre Carter and Josh Palmer looks pretty good, by the way. Like, they're not, they're just not as high quality as some of these other players. And he's getting it done to a certain extent, but it's been tough. I wonder if the Chargers are going to have a little bit of buyer's remorse with Mike Williams again. Because they did put him on the tag last year, but then signed him to the extension this year. Granted, I mean, it's not a soft tissue injury. It's like he's been battling that high ankle issue all year, a little bit different, but I mean, he's missing a lot of games. And that's nothing new for Mike Williams. So that's also a tough sell at that point, but just kind of the same stuff, different year.
Somehow the Rams put up 23 points on the Seahawks. DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett went the F off, and the Rams have claimed Baker Mayfield off of waivers from the Panthers. Currently, Mayfield is wearing number 17 in practice. We'll see if he trots out in that. He won't be trotting out for the Rams on Thursday night.
McVay said he might start the game.
Oof, that's pretty quick turnaround. Mayfield is a smart person, but yeah, that's pretty quick.
I mean, I could see it being kind of like almost kind of like preseason ish, like play Mayfield like a quarter or two, like see how he does in the first quarter, and then then you could play Bryce Perkins or John Wolford or whatever, because Stafford is done for the year. So I could see them trying him out there just to get some reps in. So I expect Baker to play this week. It's not gonna be great, but like I said, we've talked about um like number one picks getting multiple chances. I did see a meme though, because we'll get to the game with San Francisco losing Jimmy G. All the memes were like Christian McCaffrey finally got rid of Baker Mayfield after a few weeks, and then oh crap, he's coming to San Francisco. But the Rams blocked San Francisco from claiming him. I don't know if San Francisco would have claimed him anyway, but it's just a funny little storyline that the Rams claim him. But I mean, Stafford should be back next year. Baker's probably going to be that. He's going to get multiple starting opportunities. We've talked about it, but he might be one of those career backups, which is tough when you miss on your first round pick, especially overall number one.
Yeah, absolutely.
Those draft
Broncos,
classes sucked, man.
the Broncos give us what we've all been asking for: a 10-9 loss to the Ravens. Lamar Jackson goes out in the first quarter, I believe, and Tyler Huntley does just enough.
Yep, Lamar Jackson sprained PCL. Looks like he's going to be out a couple weeks. Yeah, the Ravens are kind of in a tough situation. Same spot as last year when Lamar went out and Tyler Huntley came in. Yeah, a tough break for the Ravens. That being said, the Broncos are just. I was when I was watching the Red Zone and they showed that game and the game winning kick by Tucker, and I was like, I have no dog in the fight, but it's like the Ravens. I hate both teams, but I love seeing the Broncos lose. It is a joy to see the Broncos lose. And now there's apparently this has been floated on Twitter and just like whatever, but there is a chance Russell Wilson finishes with less touchdown passes than bathrooms in his house. Got 12 bathrooms. He's on pace for 11 touchdowns. It's pretty sad.
That 12 toilets for the 12 nation.
He might be, but yeah, rough outing. Greg Dulcich, the only bright spot. Cortland Sutton does get pulled with a hammy. Jerry Jeudy makes his way back from the past few weeks. Yeah, when you got the three-headed backfield between Latavius Murray, Marlon Mack, and Mike Boone, something went wrong.
Kyle Shanahan puts on the role of the master against Mike McDaniel. Christian McCaffrey and Tyreek Hill came out to play.
Studs do stud things.
Honestly, I was pretty surprised at how many points the 49ers scored. If you don't already know this, you cannot start your running backs against the 49ers.
Well, sometimes you just have to.
Well, sometimes you have to, but
expect
they
a little
are
less.
Just dominant.
Unless they catch the ball. And you might be okay. But that being said, I did touch on it. Jimmy G out, broken foot. It is Brock Purdy time. Actually, he's Mr. Irrelevant from a few from this draft class or last draft class. Either way, I believe I saw the first Mr. Irrelevant to throw a forward pass. So fun little stat there. Christian McCaffrey gets his 8 for 80 and a touch on the ground or in the air. Debo does mild Debo things. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see what they do. They did sign journeyman Josh Johnson to the active roster. I believe I saw this is his 15th NFL team. So making his best case for the Ryan Fitz magic journey. Josh Johnson's come in and done a good job in numerous organizations. But I think they're going to give the reins to Brock Purdy. And we've seen Kyle Shanahan do this with multiple backup talent quarterbacks. They've done it. I mean, with Jimmy G, he was a backup for the first few years. But they've done it, in short spurts with Nick Mullins and CJ Beathard, in like, 2, 3, 4 game snippets, and they've been okay. Because they want that quick decision making, kind of like what Jimmy's been doing, quick and decisive, and kind of go to your first read or get rid of it. So we'll see how it goes. Purdy did okay. It helps when you have Deebo Samuel, Christian McCaffrey, Brandon Ayuk, George Kittle. I mean, you got some good options. So hopefully that'll help him out these next few weeks. I think they are putting Jimmy on IR, and they expect him to be back sometime in the playoffs if they make it far enough.
The Saints succumb to congestion in the shape of Tom Brady. They cannot close it out. They got sick in the fourth quarter, and Tom took care of business.
Yeah, they played scared the last quarter. They were trying just not to lose the game. And
Saints will be in the quarterback market next year.
Yeah. I'm real disappointed. I wish they would have stuck with Jameis a little longer. He got hurt, and he had only played 2 games before he got hurt, and he never really got back on the field. I would expect to see Jameis Winston in another uniform next year, with a chance to start as well. Man, I'd love to see Jameis in Pittsburgh. Oh, I want Jameis in Pittsburgh. It's just fun football at that point. So I wanted Jameis. Yep, that's all I want.
The matchups that matter. I cement a playoff spot, knocking off Luke after Luke got back on stride. Luke now falls to 8-5, only winning 1 in his last 6.
Yeah, tough break for him. Which, like I said, means Sackett has clinched the division title, and we are on Triple Crown watch. It is again a chance for the Triple Crown in back-to-back seasons. Sackett is the number 1 seed. He is the highest scoring team. But he's got, man, that would be a run the table type moment, because he now has the league record for most wins in a row, 10 in a row. The record was 8 by multiple individuals. Hit 9 last week, hit 10 this week. If he hits 11 and then wins 3 in a row for 14 in a row,
that'll never be broken if he does that.
Well, the winning streak is only regular season wins, so it'll top out at 11. Because I think I had 9, because I had won 5 in a row going into the playoff, or 6 in a row into the playoffs, 3 in the playoffs. But that's a big bullet on your back if he wins this week. Like, that means you're trying to win 14 in a row after starting 0-3. Would be crazy. Would be pretty cool. He does have the points lead by a fair margin, by
110. He's got 2/3 of the Triple Crown already wrapped up.
Yeah, 2/3 of the Triple Crown, needs 3 wins to go. That would be crazy. Start 0-3 and win 14 in a row. That would be, he's a good player. That's running hot. That would be crazy. I would not want him to win, but that would be a pretty tall accomplishment. But good for him.
He beats Heath. Heath scored 129, but that was not enough. He did not get production out of Sky Moore or Cordero Patterson, who we have announced is dead.
Yeah, that Tyreek Hill trade that Sackett got, that was the big difference. That's been a huge difference on his team when Jamar Chase was out. Yeah. Wow.
Drew is needed to put some pieces together, gets a bad performance from Nick Chubb and Derrick Henry in the same week, and that is enough to have him sit at 73 points, but it doesn't matter. He's still in the playoffs, and Dark Horse moves 1 step closer to a chance.
Yep, he was one of those 3-8 teams. He's won 2 in a row. he's got that sub 1% chance to get there. It's more than a 1% chance now, but yeah, he's finding his stride, but he is also now without Lamar Jackson. And so that's going to be interesting to see how that works out.
Patrick muddies the waters in the playoff picture, taking down Brinkman. I believe Brinkman is still leading one of the divisions, so he's sitting in the number 2 spot.
Correct. He is. We'll touch on my game next, but yep, Brinkman has a kind of a rough outing. No touchdowns for him except for his Josh Allen tutties. Patrick, solid game all around. Patrick's got a solid team, but is not going to make the playoffs. So tough year for Patrick. Should have traded Waddle instead of Tyreek Hill. Man, that was close. You were right. Just trying to figure out which one to trade.
Go ahead and talk about your matchup.
Yeah. So with that being said, so Brinkman is tied with me, both at 8-5 for the division lead. Brinkman has beaten me. So he does own the tiebreaker. But I did beat Blaster in the beer in your eye game. Solid week for me, minus Jimmy G getting hurt. It's nice when you get 31 from AJ Brown, and your double flexes get you 28 and 24, and just a solid outing. But Blaster falls to 3-10. Just super bad luck for Blaster this year. Matthew Stafford, Cooper Kupp, Dallas Goedert, Jerry Jeudy got hurt. Mike Evans hasn't been what he's been.
Zach. Moving on to the next matchup. We'll see if Zach is able to jump back in here.
I hear you.
Now, oh, you can hear me? All right.
Yeah, I've heard you the entire time.
Cool. Lean gets a huge win against Cole, especially because Cole is the person on the very bottom, the last playoff spot. And Lean beating him makes his chances even better.
Yeah, I'm going back and looking at the first few weeks to see if they played in the first 3. They did play. Cole beat him, so they split.
So what would it be?
Division record.
Division record?
Which means Cole's probably got it.
Well, it's luck.
Well, Cole started 3-0 in the division. Cole went 3-2 in the division to start, and then Cole the last 2 weeks. So Cole is 3-3 in the division. I know Lean started what?
Not sure what that means.
3-3 in the division. 3 wins, 3 losses.
No. Like I don't know what that means for the seeding.
No, yeah, it would go down to the division record. So if they both ended up at 3-3 in the division, then it would go to a third tiebreaker,
which is probably points.
I believe it's points. But it also doesn't throw in the fact that if Dark Horse gets in there and ties, it's a 3-way head-to-head split. So they're trying. Then it's your record versus the other 2 teams. So it'll be interesting to see how it works out.
No matter what happens, it's going to end. If Cole loses to me, doing a little bit of preview, if Cole loses to me and Lean wins, then I feel like it's going to end with you emailing NFL Fantasy to make sure we have the tiebreakers appropriate.
No, Cole will beat him. Lean is 1. What's that? Lean. Where did it go? I just had it. Okay. Lean was 1-4 in his division in the first few weeks, and now the last 2 weeks, Cole's going to have a better division. I believe Cole's going to have a better division record.
Anyway,
Yeah, I think Cole's
we'll take some more time to look at this so that we can be sure. I will be taking on Cole. He needs to win. 100% needs to win. If he beats me, I believe he knocks me into 8 because he's already beat me once this year, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, it's a long season. I don't know.
Lucas takes on the 10 in a row winner, trying to knock him down the last week. The way Luke's team's been playing, that's probably not going to happen. We have the Brink Bowl to end the regular season.
Mm-hmm.
Garrett needs a win.
Yes, he does. That would muddy the waters.
Drew taking
I am going
on
for
Blaster.
Garrett.
Blaster has been eliminated for some time now. Drew is playing for seeding.
Yes.
And then Lean has to beat Heath. Heath lost this week. He's currently sitting in 5th place at 7-6. And the last game is Zach taking on Patrick.
Well, yeah. All of Heath's team is questionable. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 questionable guys in his starting lineup.
Jesus.
Funny. I know. They're probably mostly going to play. Yep. And then I get Patrick. Patrick's trying to play spoiler. I believe. Let me double check here. No, Drew's not out of the way for the division win. If Brinkman and I both lose and Drew wins, there will be a 3-way tie for the 1 seed. So it'll go down to the tiebreakers. So there's a chance. And there's only 3 teams in our team getting in. So because there's only 3 teams. That would be absolutely crazy if 6 teams from one division got in, but I don't know how that'd be possible. Because Cole would get jumped and he'd be out, but for future times. But yeah, it's Brinkman.
That has never happened before, so that would be interesting.
No. We've 5-3 is pretty common. One division, takes the cake, which is the tomato division. But chance Brinkman and I could flip spots for the 2-3. Yeah, it'd be great.
I've got my lock of the week.
Is it your week correct?
Yes.
So I get to pick my lock of the week
first,
which I already made a bet on it, and the spread changed, and so I'm doubling down, putting more money on it. Give me Minnesota +2.
Who are they? They're playing the Lions
in Detroit. Yeah, I got it at +1 the first time. I'm doubling down and going. I'll take +2 lock of the week.
Give me the Seahawks -3.5.
There's
playing the Panthers.
I counted. There's only 3 games with a spread of under 3.
And we'll just go with one of them.
Well, I just
got Sunday night.
Yeah.
What?
I took one
Sunday night. Jesus Christ, let me finish the sentence. Sunday night, Dolphins, Chargers, Dolphins -3. Who you got?
I'll take Dolphins -3.5.
Okay. Is it -3.5?
Yep.
I will take the Chargers +3.5. Okay. Moving to Thursday night.
Oh God.
This one's hard. At least I'm picking first, I guess.
Yeah.
We got the Raiders -6.5 taking on the Rams +6.5. Who knows who's going to be at quarterback? Who knows? I think I have to take the Raiders.
Fine. I'll take the Rams. I'll take them. That's fine.
And finally, we have the Cowboys as a -16.5 point favorite.
Give me the
against the
Texans.
Texans. Plus
Give me the
16 and a
Texans.
half.
I'll take 16.5 points.
That's a lot of points.
It is. I'll take the Texans.
Okay. That does it for the bets. Do you quickly have where we're at for the year?
I do. Last week, Dalton had a 3-2 win. We're at sitting at Dalton 24, Zach 18, not including any of the season long bets. It looks like we're going to split our season long bets. We've only done 2, and then we've done all the over unders. I think I'm going to win 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think I'm going to win 4 of the 5 that we disagreed on. The only one you're going to win is the Dallas.
That should help you.
That should help me. Yeah. The ones we've already pretty much locked up. I had the Giants over 7. You had under. I had the over 9.5 for the Eagles. You had the under. I had the over 9 for the Vikings. They're at 9 wins right now. That's going to hit. And then you have the Dallas over 10. They're at 9 right now, I believe, right? So they should hit that over 10 mark. And then the one that's the close one is the Chargers. It's 10. They have to win out to hit 10. So that if they finish at 10 at the push, so if they lose one more game, I've won that one. So yeah, we're sitting that's where I'm making my money is the our split on the season long over unders. That's a fun
what's
one.
going to tighten it up.
Yeah, that should be a one we do every year. It's good. The ones we definitely missed on Dolphins under 9. I think the Dolphins can hit that. We both hit the Broncos under 10, which was great. We both hit the Jets under 5.5. I missed that one by a lot.
Yep.
Rams over 10.5. It's tough. Bucks over 11.5. Lost that one. Packers over 10. Seattle under 5.5. Oof. That's a miss. But
who would have thought Geno Smith could actually play quarterback?
Better than Russell Wilson.
Apparently. That was an episode.
Oh, I guess that's the end.